Alongside Carl Stutzman, I'm Dave Schrader. A hearty good welcome here to the 11 a.m. matchup here in the Red Gymnasium. We're running just about 19 minutes long so far today. They have cut down the time between games from 10 to 8 minutes today in an effort to keep things more on schedule. So far, so good. We have had a lot of drama here in Red Gym, thus the 18 minutes that you have had to wait for this matchup between St. James of Lafayette, Indiana, and Hope Middle School out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Should be a good game today. Pretty evenly matched teams. Going to be the first round of the consolation bracket here in this tournament. A lot of good players on this team. Good defense, good offense all around. And as far as size-wise go, they're not actually that much different.
Yeah, Hope,
guys registering in over 6 feet.
Yeah, Hope and St. James both have 6'2" players listed on their roster. Hope is led in the inside by Roland Moore-Smith, who also was a great defender. We'll see how he matches up against the big fella Ben Griggs for the Crusaders of St. James. The way these teams found their way into this consolation bracket is as follows. Hope yesterday in the 340 matchup over in White Gymnasium fell to Redeemer of Wayzata by a 34-27 margin, while St. James fell in Blue Gym at 340 as well to Salem out of Tumble, Texas. The customary pregame prayer at center court will get you your starting lineups shortly today. St. James will wear the home yellows, while in the road blacks, Hope Middle School will try to make sure it's not two and done here. They played very well. I watched that game as they faced Redeemer yesterday over in the White Gym.
Both teams look like solid players on both sides. Watching them in the pregame warm-ups here, making their shots, taking it out to the perimeter, and even some of these guys registering it at only about 5'4", 5'5", making that deep shot. It's going to be fun to watch these guys play today, and it's good to see such good sportsmanship down there in center court.
The big thing you'll notice about Hope Middle School is their athleticism. Some people you want to watch. Number 10, Delano Genius. He is a genius with the ball, off the dribble moves. Very much unrivaled in this LBAA tournament. Also, you'll want to watch Roland Moore-Smith at 6'2", and Kelvin Jones Jr., a great all-around player, the 5'10" 8th grader is. The starting lineups, first for Hope, we'll run that down for you. They will start Dejon Wilson, Roland Moore-Smith, Kelvin Jones Jr., is that Dejon Weaver? No, that is Alex Matthews that will start at the point guard, it appears. And then Delano Genius as well. Still in the huddle is St. James in the home gold. They will be home on the scoreboard as well. They will start number 3, Michael Southern. Number 2, Ben Griggs. Number 4, John Vendeventer. Number 11, Justin Seamers. And 42, Peter Ripke. In the center circle, you have Griggs for St. James. For Hope, you have Moore-Smith. The tip is won by St. James, and we are underway here. 11:20 Central Time, your official start. Controlling the point, Peter Ripke. Now off to the left side. St. James will rotate back around the perimeter right. Vendeventer. Now an inside touch. This is Southern up and drawing a foul. He'll head to the line with 5:39 to go here in the first.
Good perimeter work there on that play. 3 or 4 hands touched it outside of the key before they even managed to get on the inside, and good job picking up the foul down low. It's a little bit of a hard foul for this early in the game.
That's the first foul on Kelvin Jones, the team's first. Free throw around and in, and St. James with the early 1-0 advantage. Set for free throw number 2, Southern cannot put it in, so Hope will come the other way, looking to take the lead. Slicing into the paint, drawing contact, heading to the line now for Hope is Kelvin Jones Jr., who took that hard to the paint. We talked about his all-around skills. He wanted to get into the painted area. He did so, imposing his will, and thus earning 2.
Got a little bit of a back shot there, caused the foul on the last play. Didn't, and right back in this side of the court, picked up a foul for himself.
Jones had a good game yesterday against Redeemer Wayzata, and he ties the game with the first free throw. Free throw shooting is something that is very important. We've seen a lack of it sometimes here at the LBAA. It's nice to see both these schools knock one down in their first possessions. 2 for 2 goes Kelvin Jones Jr., and it's quickly 2-1 now, Hope. Full court pressure applied. St. James into the forecourt now. Ripke to the left side, long ball, Seamers. That's long, offensive rebound on the weak side, Griggs. And St. James will reset. The long ball from the right side, that connects. That's Michael Southern. He's got all 4 of his team's points, and St. James on top 4-2. Up into the forecourt now. Delano Genius has his pass intercepted. And Southern's all over the court. 1-on-3 to the rim, yes!
He seems to be taking control of this game pretty early. Already managed to score 6 points, the only team points thus far.
Genius, as Hope beats the trap. Ball batted away, controlled by Matthews now on the perimeter. Swing left side, Genius cuts baseline. The teardrop will not fall. The rebound yanked out of there by Ripke. And he'll run the point now into the forecourt. 3-ball Southern from NBA range. That one left short. And here comes Hope in transition. Genius beats everyone to the rack. The finish, and it's 6-4.
Genius finally getting his name on there, showing that he is, in fact, a little bit of a genius with the ball there. Good pass reception on that one, a little bit to the outside. He had to really stretch to pick that one up.
Great job. Over and back is the call against Ripke as he was hounded in the forecourt and then into the backcourt by the diminutive Alex Matthews. The 5'3" 8th grader plays much bigger than his size. I've seen so not just today, but also yesterday over in the white gym. Here he is, off to the left side now, Genius. Genius swings the ball around the perimeter. St. James back in the 2-3 zone now. Left side, Genius. Short three-pointer from the wing. No. Rebound, Southern.
Southern seems to be everywhere in the court right now. Deep pass and making good, smart plays down there. He's always got his head on a swivel.
Griggs could not finish, and Jones will slice the other ways. Jones now has 4. That teardrop from 2 feet found Altwine. We're all knotted at 6s. The full court pressure by Hope nearly leads to another turnover. It's poked out of bounds. Last touch by Matthews, though. And we have our first timeout. So far, I've seen Southern impress me very well, but Hope, they weathered that storm, and now they're tied at 6s.
Hope seems to have, they're spreading the points around just a little bit more. Southern seems to be leading the team by himself. Something that's not really good on any level of basketball, but if he's going to be able to lead the team, he's going to have to score a lot of points. More ball control, more teamwork coming from St. James would really be the difference maker so far in this. But being pretty early, Hope seems to be the team that's better than this. They're spreading the points around. They're getting the ball moved around.
Yeah, Hope, a very athletic team. It was a game that went down to the wire over in White Gym against Redeemer. Hope led for much of that contest. Just in the end, came up a little bit short, but this is a tournament of champions, and no first-round matchup is easy. You could ask both these teams about that. That's not a knock against St. James or Hope, but just a testament to the level of competition here. Southern controls in the right corner. He's being hounded by Genius. Off now, Ripke for 3. He pulls the cord, but could not get the finish. He will intercept the pass on the sideline, and that yellow line comes into play once more. One thing you'll notice here in the red and white gyms is the first yellow line, the one that accompanies the main court free throw line, is the out-of-bounds line. There's a second line behind it that was yesterday yellow that has been taped over as blue today. That is not the out-of-bounds line. That's well onto the sidelines right in front of the bench. That first yellow line is something maybe hard to pick up for players thus far. We've seen that time and time again.
Another quick little interesting fact, I myself have played on this gym before, and one thing I can tell you is that these rims are not primary rims, so they're very hard. You're not going to get a lot of shots to just kind of roll in there. You're going to have to be able to put it down and into the hoop.
They're going to have to either use a soft touch or bury it, finding all net. Here comes St. James the other way. Alex Matthews hounded against what looks to be a 2-3 zone or a 2-1-2. I'll let you know next time they set up. A foul on the floor, and it'll be St. James ball underneath. Quick substitution for Hope. Bender will enter the game, and taking a seat is an upset Ralph Jones Jr., who just picked up another foul. Ripke, down low, Southern, amidst the trees, is swatted. He came down with the ball. That's a travel. He was looking for a foul call, but that was all ball. What a beautiful piece of defense exhibited there by Moore Smith. Nice pass to break the press by Alex Matthews. He cleans up the mess and launches from deep. Off the iron, no, and as you mentioned, Carl, this is not a kind rim.
No, it's not, and it's especially not kind to younger shooters.
Genius, no. Rebound batted out. Last touched by Hope. Ripke and St. James will take over.
Once again, we were talking about it. St. James really not getting the ball around too much. That last drive, it just seemed like Southern was trying to control the ball a little bit too much. He picked up the foul, but in the end, it really didn't take him anywhere.
Ripke to the right side now. He holds and waits for reinforcements. They come in the form of Griggs. Now rotation left. Seamers down low on the block. Griggs out high. Ripke pulls the ripcord. That's a way to get your team on top. St. James by 3. Pressure defense in the backcourt leads to turnover as Alex Matthews took too many steps. These teams both Midwestern foes. You see a lot of teams from California, Florida, Texas, Nebraska, from everywhere across the country. These two playing a lot closer to home than most. Lafayette about an hour and a half away. Milwaukee about 2.5 to 3 hours as you travel around Lake Michigan up into the state of Wisconsin. Ripke, pass down low to Southern on the left block. Now up top side, Seamers 3. No, weak side rebound, Ripke. He's been everywhere thus far. His entry pass a little too hot to handle. Back out Ripke. He nearly had a second triple. Southern goes above, over Weaver, draws the foul.
Yeah, Ripke's got some big, powerful hands in there for someone of his age. No problem whatsoever. Get those nice big hands up there and just palms that ball straight down. Seems to have no trouble getting the rebound whatsoever.
Into the forecourt, Genius, right wing, on the move left. Nice shifty moves. He'll give off to a teammate. This is Weaver. Weaver fights for it with Ripke on the deck, and the whistle will go against Ripke. I like to see that hustle, but sometimes you got to know when to ease up and not pick up silly fouls. The St. James team, from what we've seen thus far, will need Ripke in order to win this.
You know, they can utilize him underneath, and even on the outside, he's shown that he's a shooter so far.
Weaver to Genius. No, Weaver, the offensive rebound. The putback is swatted. Ben Griggs on defense. The ball will be out of bounds, though, off of Southern as he tangled for it on the deck. He had his right foot out of bounds. Weaver into Bender. Left side, Genius. Steps back, looks to tie the game. No, rebound Ripke. That's his 4th rebound. And he launches at the first quarter buzzer, short by a couple of feet. We head to the second. Your score, St. James 9, Hope 6. It was a pretty well-contested first quarter there, Carl. I mean, Hope clawed back into it after we saw some pretty good dominance, some nice things from Michael Southern early on. Hope locked down defensively, forced other players to beat him. Meanwhile, if Hope makes a couple more shots, this thing could be the other way around.
Oh, most definitely. You know, Hope definitely has the talent to come around and do this. They've got the athleticism. We see it in their players. They're all fast-moving. They're all very smart, and they all have great ball control. We've seen some really good passes and some really good ball handling skills at the middle, especially by Genius. That last shot, the three-pointer that he took, a little bit off the mark, but some great ball handling skills, shook his defender pretty well, and that's going to be the big difference is how they're going to be able to execute when they get down to their side.
Both teams exhibiting some good ball movement and teamwork. There's been a lot of good shots. A lot haven't fallen. You mentioned these rims aren't that kind. I'd say the one on the left a little more kind than the hard rim on the right, just from playing on this gym myself. Of course, they'll switch ends at halftime. That'll even things up, but I don't know if you can get much more even than you've seen in this first quarter. 9-6, 3 points, 1 triple the difference right now. Genius had about 2 of them go halfway down and then jump back out of the cylinder.
Oh yeah, not much difference really between these two teams right off the bat. It's a 6-9 game, still very, very close. 1 shot away from having this thing completely tied, and only 1 quarter in. You can't make too many estimates right now, but it's going to depend on who's able to move the ball more, who's going to be able to put those shots underneath. It's going to be difficult for some of these guys, especially the long ball shooters, to get these to go down. Like we said, the rims are pretty hard here. They're not going to be overly forgiving.
Southern leads all scorers with 6. Here he is slicing into the paint. Nice swat by Seamers. And here comes Hope running. Genius to the rim. He left it short. The putback up, no good. A foul called, though. And Seamers will go to the line for 2 shots. I didn't quite see who they whistled that foul against.
I believe the foul was against Robbie Alvarado of St. James.
We've seen these teams combine to shoot 3 of 4 free throws thus far. Seamers misses the first. Hope now 2 of 3 by their lonesome. Second free throw's true. This is a 2-point game at 9-7. Southern inbounds the ball to Ripke. Those two have been the studs thus far for the St. James Crusaders. Playing here at the home of the Crusaders, Valparaiso University. Sliding baseline, Ripke leaves it up and one.
And like we said, Ripke getting up there and being physical. He seems to be the big man on the team right now. He's the one playing the low perimeter shots, and he's kind of taking that outside shot too.
Those are the type of plays that have kept St. James ahead thus far. Hope put that up that big, strong surge to tie the game at 6. As since then, St. James has kept Hope at bay a little bit, at least one possession back. 12-7 as the three-point play is completed. We have a timeout on the court, and Hope wants to talk things over.
Well, you know, if you look, especially at this age, you wonder how players are going to develop. And so you look at how they have managed to grow thus far. You know, Ripke and Southern look both like very athletic, you know, junior high school guys. And when they get into high school, they're going to be able to develop and they're going to grow. And if looking at how Ripke's playing so far, being as physical as he is, he has every little bit of potential to be able to succeed on many different higher levels.
Ripke and Southern each with 6 thus far. When you look at the scoring for Hope, 4 points for Jones, 2 for Genius. That's it aside from that last free throw. Last free throw was put in by Morris Smith. Hope with the ball back on the end line. St. James comes out of the timeout. In the game now, Robbie Alvarado, Ben Griggs, Michael Southern, Justin Seamers, and Peter Ripke. For Hope will set the lineup as they bring the ball into the forecourt. It is Genius, Matthews, Wilson, Moore Smith, and Kelly. Out top side, Delano Genius trying to find a teammate against this 2-3 zone. Genius dribbles left, spot up 15-footer, no. Rebound on the offensive end for Kelly, and he looks back topside. Ripke bats the pass away. He races into the forecourt. 1-on-3, he beats the traffic to the rim and caught from behind by Genius, no, not Genius, Seamers. He'll head to the line again. So we've seen Ripke. He's demonstrated that killer instinct. With the ball in his hand, he looks to score. And he's found himself at the charity stripe once again. He's looking to increase upon this lead. If he makes 2, he can help his team double up Hope Lutheran. The first is true. That's his 7th point. Set to check in for Hope is Frederick Bender. He'll come in if this is a make. It is not, it's a miss. Rebound pulled down by Southern. He and Travis Kelly, they battled for it. Jump ball possession arrow will give the ball to Hope.
A little bit of a killer instinct here coming from the players of St. James. Have absolutely no problem throwing their bodies in there, jumping for the ball, and you know, being physical on the inside.
Pass batted in the air. Hope will still control. Yet to cross the timeline. Now Genius does so, dribbling right. He's trapped, dribbles his way out of it, works left side. Wilson down the lane, now back to Genius. 4:33 to go in the first half, 13-7 St. James on top. Genius patrolling now to the right, stops and pops from 16, no. Rebound yanked out of there by Alvarado, and Ripke will control the point and set up the offense. He directs traffic left. Seamers gets the ball down low to Southern, who has it stolen away by Wilson. And here's nice one-on-one moves. You see Genius beating the defenders into the half-court offense. Baseline drive, Genius. Foul on the floor, shot will not count, and it will be Hope underneath. We're 2 minutes into the second quarter here, and St. James has just had enough to keep Hope 1 or 2 possessions back this entire game ever since a 6-6 tie. Juniors from 17, yes! He finally gets on track.
Yeah, that's going to end a big streak for him. Really hasn't had much in the way of points so far in this game. You know, only had 4, but when you're only scored 9 points in the game, having 4 points still looks pretty good. But he's taken a lot of shots. And he finally takes that perimeter jump shot that we've seen that he's actually good at in the past.
Ripke down low, Griggs, no. Put back Southern, yes! 15-9, Crusaders on top. Hope over and back as Genius tried to do too much himself, couldn't find an open teammate. Side out for St. James, they have a 6-point lead. Ripke hands off to Southern in the backcourt. And he'll direct traffic coming and approaching the perimeter. To the right side, a wide open three-point look, Ripke. He misfires and Hope comes away with the ball. Genius into traffic and he's fouled. It'll be Hope ball side out with 3:01 to go here in the second quarter. Again, intense pressure, full court for St. James. They've wreaked havoc at times against this Hope Lutheran offense. Genius all the way coast to coast with the finish. That's one way to beat that press. The shifty ball handling skills.
And we talked about his ball handling skills earlier, how good he was with it. He's finally making those shots, you know. It's going to be his, second in a row. He's doing a good job of keeping the ball underneath now.
6 points for Genius. And Hope's offense has come alive here a little bit. Seamers controls left side, has the ball swatted. He walked with it first. I'm not sure Seamers is the one I'd want handling the ball against a trap on the wing. Great job by the Hope defense picking their target in the 5-5 Seamers. Genius on the roam, baseline, got in too deep, tried to bail out high, ball stolen away. This is Southern, and he'll wait for reinforcements, or will he? He tries to go 1-on-3, has the ball stolen away, ball loose on the deck, picked up by Genius, 2-on-2. He takes it himself, yes! That's 8 points for Genius, 6 here in the second, and it's a 2-point ball game.
And just like that, the whole game turns around. We talked about how evenly matched these teams were. It was just a matter of who was going to be on the hot streak and who was going to play underneath. A little bit of a happenstance play in that case, but nevertheless effective.
Out of bounds off Hope, last touched by Weaver. If I'm St. James right now, I look for Ripke. Southern has tried his best here in the second, but he's been taken away by a tough Hope defense inside. Maybe get Ripke off a screen. He had a nice, good open three-point look that went halfway down. Let's see if you can get him some more.
Ripke's got a good shot. He's got a good physical presence on the court, using him, and just like that.
And a three from the farthest part of the court, the far right corner.
And just as we're talking about it, he goes and sinks that three-pointer, and that's going to be his versatility as a player.
He steals the ball away. It's poked out of bounds by Jones Jr. to save the bucket. With the 18-13 lead, though, St. James will have the ball underneath. Maybe a little deja vu. Go to Ripke off another screen. No screen, but Ripke gets the inbounds. Back down low to Gibbs. No. Stolen away by Jones. Jones 2-on-2. He'll finish at the rim, or will he? Off the rim and out. Long ball on its way, and true. Genius. He's on fire. 11 points now. And right now it's Ripke versus Genius.
Very true.
Ripke with 10, Genius with 11. The score 18-16, St. James on top. Southern can't finish under the basket. He misses the bunny. Away comes Hope. Here's Genius to the rim. Yeah, you better believe it. 13. 11 here in the second quarter. And boy, has that made all the difference. St. James has to weather this storm and find someone other than Ripke. Ripke will try to do it himself. He'll slide underneath Genius, and to the bucket he scores.
This is the most intense one-on-one game I have seen so far. Ripke versus Genius. And just like that again, Ripke's up and he makes that physical play. That's the type of ball player that he is. He now has 14 on the game.
The score, Ripke 14, Genius 13, but the bigger picture also tells the same tale as St. James on top by 4. Undercut as he went to the rim was Kelvin Jones Jr. He will not shoot 2 as they're going to call the charge. 7 ticks left here in the second quarter, and it's been a good one ever since Genius started to connect. He's on fire. He has now 11 points here in the second. Left side Southern as the horn sounds. That's no good. We'll head to the half with your score. St. James 22, Hope 18. And thus far, we've said it, it's been a two-man show for the most part. Southern had the first 6 points of the game, but since then, it's been the Ripke show, and for Hope, it's been the Genius show, as he absolutely has taken over this game in the second.
And if Genius doesn't step up in this game, instead of the score being 22-18, the score is something more like 22-4, 22-5. Genius has really kind of taken that extra step up here, especially in the second quarter rather. And he's managed to put 13 points on the board. You can't argue with that whatsoever. Just the way he's playing, going from end to end on so many different plays. He's a great player, great physical presence, great ball handling skills. He knows what the defense is, and he's able to put the ball in the basket.
Well, it's a good game. Should be a good second half. Coming up in 4 minutes, we'll have the third quarter again. Your halftime score, St. James 22, Hope 18. Alongside Carl Stutzman, I'm Dave Schrader, and we're set to get underway in the third period. Your halftime score again, a 4-point lead at 22-18 for St. James, who has been led by Ripke's 14 points. Hope so far led by Genius's 13. Here's Southern underneath. He scored the first 6. He gets 2 there to start the third, and it's a 6-point game. If Hope hopes to win, they're going to have to find an answer for Southern and Ripke. Maybe distribute the wealth a little more. Genius has had to do a lot of it himself. Here he is, stepping in from the perimeter. In and out and in. Oh, that's that kind touch that you're not going to get on the right basket. This left one a little softer.
And you look at the breakdown for St. James here. So far, only Southern and Ripke have scored. Southern with 10, Ripke with 14. And that's going to be the way the Hope's going to have to beat them. They're going to have to keep the ball away from their hands.
Ripke Southern inside-outside play. The zone traps both, and it's forced into the hands of the 8th grade forward Daniel O'Connor as it's swatted out of bounds. The ball will stay with St. James, however.
You got to kind of wonder here what sort of fatigue is going to sit in and win. I mean, it's a very quick game so far, but so far Ripke and Southern have been playing both ways the whole time.
To trigger the inbounds, it will be Southern. Into Ripke, back to Southern. Nice feed against the double team. It backed off, and he took advantage. Everything but the finish. The follow, though, is good for Griggs. In 2 possessions, 2 buckets thus far for St. James. They lead by 6.
Griggs finally the third Southern player to put points on the board. Distribution of the wealth is going to be pretty important for them, but that also might be their downfall. Hope can keep the ball away from Ripke and James.
Ripke the rebound. The baseball pass ahead to Griggs. He can catch up with it, but he was out of bounds before he went to save it. You have to, again, once you step out of bounds, assert yourself back in the court of play with both feet before touching a ball. He was unable to do so, and it'll go back to Hope. The half-court trap on the right side, and Genius again with some beautiful ball handling skills to get himself out of a jam. Slicing through the lane, he'll head to the line. That's Alex Matthews. Haven't said his name a lot today, but yesterday he was one of the studs, involving everyone on his Hope teammate and making sure that they hung close with Redeemer. Hope today 3 of 4 at the line. Make that 3 of 5 as the first one around and out. 4:16 to go, just about 2 minutes gone here in the third. Second one short, rebound comes away to the Crusaders. Ripke up the left side, he's pushed from behind. That foul will go against Matthews.
Ripke still being that dominant player there, got the foul on the end, but just powered straight through the court. Looked like he was going to have the easy bucket if it wasn't for the foul.
Southern into Ripke, long 3, wide open 3, no. This time it won't fall, and here come the Tigers. Long ball, no. Put back, yes! Dejan Weaver. So as we've worked under 2 minutes gone here in this third quarter, score still about the same. 4-point lead for St. Peter's. We've seen good offense both ways. Stepping into his 3-pointer was Justin Seamers. And you don't want to leave him all alone on the wing.
Looked like a pretty easy bucket there. Took good advantage of the way that the whole court was set up. Wide open out on the perimeter.
Southern fouled as he looked to clear traffic. Is this also going to go against Matthews? It may, and looks like Matthews will have to take a seat on the bench perhaps. Well, actually, I think they'll call it against Jones, and Jones will in turn take a rest. Southern walks the ball up, no hurry, a 6-point lead for the Crusaders as we work towards the halfway point of the third. Ripke from the longest part of the 2-point realm. No trouble with that one. That's his 16th, and he in turn passes now Genius for game-high honors at this juncture. Tiptoeing the sideline, Genius goes baseline, runs out of real estate, back up to Matthews. His step in 2 is long. Rebound on the weak side, batted around, and Matthews will retrieve it himself. Lob down low, underneath. Lefty layup, no good for Moore Smith. And St. James will clear. Nice spin move through traffic. It's Southern to Ripke. Yep! I don't think he's gonna miss, folks. That's 18. Timeout, Hope.
Peter Ripke had, had 14 points there in the first half. You got to wonder if he's going to be able to do it again. And he seems to be well on his way, actually getting a little bit quicker of a start than he did in the first quarter of the last game.
It's been all Southern in Ripke for the most part.
It has, and they're getting a little bit more ball distribution here in the third quarter. But
and it's unselfish play as well.
Oh, yeah.
Southern had a clear look at the basket, his spin move, and he opted for the higher percentage look. He's been a team player in every sense of the word. And just because Ripke has 18 points now, 14 in the first half, I'm not going to say it's because he's a ball hog or anything like that, because I honestly think he's a team player. If someone's going to have a better look, I would expect him to give it up, and I've seen him do it countless times.
Yeah, and that's the big thing you look at. Usually when you see a player at this level score 14 points in the first half, it's not really being much of a team player, but the reason why he's making these shots is because he's open, and so is Southern. Both of them are just making opportunities for themselves, and the team is just giving them the ball and giving them the opportunity to, they've got a 10-point lead, so that's where it leads to.
Now, Hope's offense has gone a little bit cold here in the third. They trail by 10, but they really do need to focus on defense. So you got to take away Southern and Ripke. We have a whistle, timeout. The call goes against Hope, a turnover, and St. James will take over once more. Ripke walks the ball up in the forecourt. And the thing about Ripke is he's got the size that he can play inside if he wants, but he's also a deadly shooter and can run the point. He comes off of a set play, didn't get a clean look at it. Great defense by Hope. Slicing to the lane was Southern, he couldn't finish. He'll battle for the ball, it'll be a jump, and the possession arrow gives the ball to Hope. Matthews will inbound the ball to Genius. He's got to start to make something happen here as his team has gone cold. He resurrected their hopes in the second quarter, and his layup is a little bit wayward, out of control, slicing through the lane. I think he was a little too excited about the fact that there was no one in front of him. Coming the other way, Ripke looks for 20. He's fouled, will have to earn it at the line.
Ripke needs to, they need to give him a good nickname, one of these things like Tom Clancy or something to that effect, because he's just sneaking around underneath. I don't understand how he manages to get open. If he scores 18 points so far in today's game, he is still consistently open. Someone's not pulling their coverage down there, and he's managing to get the open shot, so congrats to him for being able to be such a good player.
Ripke misses the first one. I'd say one of the things that leads and contributes to his success so much is, number A, his speed, number 2, his size at a guard position, and C, he's got great body control. You saw Genius a little out of control that last possession. That's uncharacteristic for Genius, but I think it's characteristic of the middle school level of basketball. What you've seen from Ripke thus far is an ability to size up a situation, keep his head up as he drives through the lane, and make the right decisions. Genius, a little bit out of control this time. It's off Ripke and out of bounds. Hope we'll have another chance.
We talked about that team player attitude. I have no doubt that Genius has that team player attitude, but he's trying to lead the team by himself right now.
He showed it in the first quarter. He showed it early here in the third. He's looking for teammates. They aren't connecting. Genius, just by virtue of the fact that his team is cold, is going to have to take over. Over and back called as there's miscommunication amidst the Hope Lions. Actually, Tigers. We've got plenty of Lions and Tigers and Bears here.
Oh my.
These Hope players are the Tigers. Southern has the ball batted away. Here's Matthews. Tracks it down. Now he crosses the timeline right. All the way to the bucket baseline. He is fouled from behind. A foul will be on the court. Is that going to go against, it's either going to be going against Griggs or against Alvarado. I think it's Alvarado. Matthews to Genius, 3 ball, just short. Matthews skies high for the rebound. Tipped it to his teammate, but unable to control was Kelly, and the ball goes back to St. James. Cool and collected. Ripke brings the ball across the timeline. Timeout called for from the sidelines. Dustin Johnson wants to make sure his team's in the right sets here offensively.
You almost have to wonder if there's going to be a little bit of a change up here. You know, they've got an 11-point lead in the game. A good 58 seconds here. Now might be a good time to rest Ripke a little bit. He's been playing full speed the entire game so far. And if he's going to be the balance of your team and if he's going to be the person to lean back on, a little bit of rest will probably do him some good.
Yeah, this is a long tournament. To win the championship, you have to win 5 games. To win the consolation championship, you lose the first game, still have to win 4 games. Again, this is the 11 a.m. first round of the consolation bracket. This is the last consolation first round game. The winner from today's game will play later on this afternoon at 3:40. Not a lot of turnaround time. That will occur over in the white gymnasium. For either of these teams, it will have been 3 games in 24 hours on the clock. And then you got to play a 4th game tonight. If either of these teams were to win, then at 3:40 they would play in the red gym tonight at 8:20. Spinning through the lanes, Southern had it swatted on a backside. This is Griggs with the offensive board. Back to Southern, out top side. Nice move, step in. And I think one of the Hope defenders got a piece of it because Seema's shot was a little more off the mark than you would expect from the sharpshooter.
Good defense there by Hope. Way to block a couple of shots on that one, and good job keeping it clean. No need to foul in situations like that.
Matthews from 10 feet, right baseline, no. Ripke rebound, he's fouled. That foul will be whistled against the Dejan Weaver.
Actually, that call on Daniel O'Connor, or no, sorry, rather Alex Matthews is going to get the foul called against him on that play.
Interesting call, interesting call.
I too thought it was going the other way.
We're under 20 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. It's a 33-22 lead, the largest of the game for St. James. Ripke into the mix. The ball appeared to be kicked. No whistle. And down loose on the deck, we'll have a jump ball. Possession arrow will keep it right here with St. James. 7 seconds left. Out of bounds play forthcoming. Guess who's going to get the ball?
Yeah. Hope's turning over a little bit of a new light here on defense, being a little more physical than they had been previously.
3 seconds to go. Southern to the rack. He cannot finish, and the buzzer sounds, but it was a mighty good look there from Southern. We'll head to the floor. St. James by 11. And look at this. Southern's frustrated because he couldn't hit another buzzer beater here in the 3rd quarter. His team's on top by 11, yet the perfectionist attitude of these Crusaders leaves them wanting more.
Yeah. And like I was saying before, the Hope defense turning over a little bit of new attitude, being a little more physical, a little more in-the-face defense style than what we've seen from them so far. And, you know, St. James hasn't really scored here much in their past couple drives. Maybe that's going to be the effectiveness. It's a good way to pick up a few points. If you can manage to stop Ripke and Southern, that's going to be the ball game right there.
Let's talk about genius. Delano Genius. In the 1st quarter, he had just 2 points. In the 2nd quarter, had 13. Only 2 in the 3rd quarter. You see a trend? Are we going to get a double-digit effort in the 4th from Genius? Can he bring back the Hope Tigers and snatch victory from the claws of defeat? Can he?
I don't think it's the question is so much can he, because we definitely know that he can. The question is more, should he have to? He doesn't need to be the one player on a 5-man squad who comes back and brings them back from that 10-point deficit. They've showed they have a lot of athleticism underneath. They've got some players that can make some good plays, and they've got a lot of ball handling skills. So if they can spread the ball around, he doesn't have to be able to go into another double-digit effort here in the 4th quarter to bring him back.
They've distributed the ball well. The problem has been no one's hit a shot. There's been a couple point-blank shots. There's been mid-range jumpers, many of them open. Hope has not been able to find the cylinder, though. They'll look out high to their star Genius. Backs off to the right elbow. Fadeaway jumper, no. Over the back, foul against Kelly. And the Crusaders will take control once more. Five minutes and 43 seconds remain between St. James and a date in the white gym at 340.
Almost a moving pick there on Southern.
Re-entering the ballgame for St. James, Ventaventer. Taking a seat will be Robbie Alvaredo. St. James will retain possession on the kick ball. The ball is in the Griggs. Now back to Ripke, who brings the ball out high. To the left side, wide open, didn't pull the trigger, Seamers. I think St. James is looking to run some clock. 40 seconds gone here in the fourth, an 11-point edge for the Crusaders. Griggs is fouled hard, he'll head to the charity stripe. Griggs toes the line, and St. James looks for some freebies here. They are just 1 of 2 today at the charity stripe from my recollection. There haven't been a whole lot of free throw shots by the Crusaders.
Hope's had a lot of fouls on the ground today, and that's kind of been a big difference here. It's a big possession difference with those fouls.
Second free throw is true. It's a 12-point game. The lead moves to a dozen now for the Crusaders, who still have their diamond-in-one press in action. Foul will be whistled against Southern. The time is now, if you're Hope. The lead a dozen for St. James. 5 minutes, 8 seconds as the clock continues to roll. Right side, nice pass underneath, and a traveling violation will be whistled against Kelly. It went up, Southern held his body control, did not reach, did not pick up the foul, and it forced Kelly back to the ground where he committed the walk violation. Screen out high, frees up Ripke. Now to the left corner and Seamers. Ripke thought about a long three from the left angle. No, dribble drive baseline. He stepped on the end line, but was forced to do so by Genius, who hacked him on the right arm. 4:43 left, folks. It's 34-22, St. James on top here.
And we talked about that big performance by Genius that we could see here in the fourth quarter. And now is the time for it with only 4 minutes and 43 seconds left. And now, what used to only be an 11-point deficit has managed to change to a 12-point deficit, which doesn't look too much different, but in the end, every point counts.
Ripke has not scored here in the fourth. That's his 19th point as he connects on the first free throw. Haven't had a whole lot of 20-plus point scorers here in the LBA tournament. Ripke enters that realm here with free throw number 2. He has 20 points. The lead's ballooned to 14 now. And the Tigers had better move quickly. Tiptoeing the sideline, stepping out of bounds. You saw Genius. Actually, I'm not sure what that call was. They're either going to call a touch foul, which I guess they're going to do. It may be a little nitpicky, but I guess if it forced Genius past the end line, you're going to have to call that. Genius from the land of beyond. No. He skies high for the rebound. Nearly came over the back of Southern. Southern will control. Timeout will be called for and granted to head coach Dustin Johnson.
Genius needs to be able to settle down here just a little bit if he's going to be able to come back and make a big difference. You know, the entire time he was sitting there going to make that shot, Kelvin Jones Jr. was standing on the perimeter by himself, completely wide open for a shot. No one anywhere near him, and he just wasn't getting the ball. And Genius has the mentality that he's going to be the one to bring the team back.
Well,
but
right
the question
now,
is,
his shot has failed as well. I mean, right now someone's got to get hot for the Tigers, and it doesn't really matter who at this point.
Yeah.
But it is apparent that Genius, while red hot in the second quarter, has gone cold here in the second half. I don't know if it's the switch events, but he hasn't been as comfortable. The only shot he's made in this half was his first attempt that rimmed in and out and in again. As the Tigers have moved right to left in the third and fourth quarters.
And Ripke pretty much just outsizing everyone out there. He's not the biggest guy on the court, but he's playing like he's the biggest guy on the court, and that's going to be the difference maker. And that has been the difference maker so far.
Ripke 6'0". He controls the point now against pressure from Matthews, Genius, and Matthews in the backcourt. Head to Southern, 4:15 and counting as Southern slices to the lane, gives off to Griggs. Griggs underneath the block attempt to Genius. That's 2 more points for the Crusaders, who lead this wide by 16. Up into the forecourt, trying to make something happen is Jones Jr. to the left corner, and Genius finally connects. He gets off the snide. That's his 18th point with a triple. His team back to within 13. A steal, ahead. Genius one-on-one with Southern, and that is selflessness in every sense of the word. He gave off to Jones Jr., who could not find the well. I'm sure Hope would like that one back right now. Instead, Ripke tries to take advantage by himself. He's banged hard. Griggs to the hoop. No foul again. A lot of contact there. And St. James finally turns the ball over. Hope out running. Genius. This time he won't hand the ball off. He'll miss it himself. A hack will be called on Southern as Travis Kelly went up strong, but there's a lot of contact on that other end as well, Carl.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna see a lot of faster ball play from here on out for the rest of the game. Only 3 minutes and 14 seconds left and a 16-point deficit like you had just stated. It's gonna get moving pretty quick here, and I think that's where Genius is gonna be able to step up and be a big player.
Travis Kelly airmails the first free throw. 3:14 to go, as you mentioned. It's still a dozen-point lead here for the Crusaders as Kelly makes the second free throw. Griggs ahead to Southern. Southern racing to the bucket. Lefty layup around and out. Griggs looked for the rebound, battled with his teammate, and miscommunication leads to a turnover. As St. James had 3 players surrounding that rebound and failed to come down with it.
Ripke and Southern just using that killer instinct, trying to get to the ball, ran into each other. Didn't get that one back in bounds. But Christian Arnold, the coach for the Hope right now, you know, he's not giving up on his players, and you can definitely see that on the sidelines.
Here's Southern patiently bringing the ball into the forecourt against pressure. Left side now, Venter. Pivots now back up to the top of the key, and St. James is running clock. 2:36 and counting. Southern and Ripke play catch, and Southern decides to take it to the bucket where he's fouled.
Matthews, a good player, probably not your best idea for a perimeter defender right now. Outsized by almost everyone on the court. You know, they were just playing a little bit of a monkey in the middle there for a few minutes, trying to run some time off the clock. Put a little bit of a bigger guy out there, get him to put some physical defense on Southern and Ripke in the outside.
First free throw right down the well, and the score 39-26. Southern approaches double figures. Actually, he's in double figures now with 11. Make it 12. He makes free throw number 2. He's got himself a dozen. A dozen for Southern, 20 for Ripke. Genius with 18, but Hope will need a lot more now as they trail by 14 with just 2:20 remaining. Genius left side, hanging in the air. No, Ripke another rebound. He's probably got a double-double by now.
Surprised that was called a jump ball on that play. Ripke seemed to have control of it pretty easily, but St. James still retains possession.
Ripke into Southern, and here's that full court pressure by Hope. Skying high, trying to intercept, to no avail. St. James will take it to the rack with one of the shortest players on the court, Justin Seamers. He'll be fouled and take his place at the charity stripe.
His presence certainly hasn't been small so far in this game. His only points coming off of a huge three-pointer earlier.
He's really helped spread the floor, though, and create opportunities for both Southern and Ripke. He makes the first free throw. And St. James has pretty much made the most of their opportunities, as much as you could expect at the middle school level in terms of free throw shooting. They now, the second miss around and out, are 5 of 9. And here comes Genius into the forecourt, racing. 1-on-3. He hands off at the last second, but Travis Kelly wasn't ready for it. He'll commit the foul as he tried to battle for a loose ball. And Genius, you can see why right now. Sometimes he'll take the shot because when he's creating, his teammates aren't always ready for it. Genius is perhaps a little bit ahead of his age in terms of skill level.
And he is, when he gets to that next high school level, he's going to be a great player. He's going to have a lot of people to work with and develop with as a team. And you kind of, I've seen a lot of big players like that in high school. Where I grew up, there are a couple of guys, we've got starters at New Mexico, we've got starters at Western Michigan, we've got starters at Ball State, all that came out of my high school. And we had those big type of ball players who in junior high, they were so far ahead of their level that they just weren't very good because their teammates just weren't there to kind of help them out.
Genius with the rebound on the missed free throw. 16 points is the lead for St. James. 3-ball, no. Genius. And Griggs wisely watches it sail out of bounds.
I'm surprised not to see a foul on that play. Southern really just kind of ran into Genius as he was getting ready to take that three-point shot.
Looks like St. James has started to clear the bench. His first appearance in the ball game as Austin Beard steps on the hardwood. The 5-foot 7th grader will be back next year, likely to help lead St. James to another LBAA tournament. A bump on the far sideline, no call. Now ahead to James, and St. James will call the timeout.
And we were talking about the big play of Genius on the Hope side of the ball. If you look at Ripke and Southern, those are two guys that play well and score a lot of points because they work well together. They themselves, too, are on that, that extra level above. But because there's two of them on the team, they're able to work, and that's why both of them are leading in scoring for St. James.
The score 42-26, 1:44 remaining here in the fourth quarter. It's a 16-point lead. All hope is not lost, but it's going to have to take a lot of offense in a real big hurry here for the Tigers to advance. This is a Tiger team. It's very split down the middle. A lot of 8th graders, a lot of 7th graders. A lot of the talent will be back. Genius, Moore, Smith, and Jones, though, all 8th graders, as is Alex Matthews and Travis Kelly. Dejon Wilson, the 7th grader, will be back next year, as will Dejon Weaver and Terrell Matthews. St. James with the ball in the backcourt. Ripke controls, 1:40 to go. I expect them to milk some clock. Instead, one of the newcomers to this game fires from the baseline. Jonathan Wegener could not connect, and Hope with the rebound. You can't really fault them for shooting it. They don't get a lot of playing time at the Tournament of Champions. It's nice to see everyone get into the stat book. Ripke, long baseball pass ahead to Southern, and this should be just about it, except for Southern is blocked by the rim going up for a dunk. Give him a year or two, and he'll be flushing that one right down the middle. Ball ahead now to Dejon Wilson. He has it poked out of bounds, and Hope will retain possession with 1:08 to go.
Foul called on, it was a little bit of a, I think it was 42 was the number that was called on, so that'd be Ripke, had another foul called on him.
Set at the free throw line is Dejon Wilson, one of those 7th graders for this Hope squad that is really impressed, having one of the best years in school history. Just 65 students attend Hope with a quality program despite the lack of numbers.
Oh, most
1:06 to go and counting.
Yeah, most definitely a good squad here. Only 65 kids in school. Usually you see big dominant teams, especially at the junior high level, have 300, maybe 400 kids in their school.
Under a minute to go, ball loose on the deck. We have another tie-up possession arrow. We'll give the ball to Hope. .48 seconds to go and counting. Into the forecourt, Weaver. Weaver now left side. Skying high is Bender. His pass is intercepted by Ripke. Ripke looks at the scoreboard, will slow up. Timeout called by the Crusaders. Well, right now I would expect head coach Dustin Johnson just to stress, guys, there's 33 seconds left. No sense to try to score any more buckets. You don't need to rub anything in. Just try to hold the ball out high.
And it looks like Ripke is finally going to be able to take his seat on the bench. He's played the whole game back and forth. It was only a matter of time before they put him down. Huge game for him today, finishing out with 20 points. And it's just an incredible performance by such a young player.
It is indeed. Bench fully cleared. St. James goes with that smaller, younger lineup. 30 seconds to go. Shot on its way, no good. Saved by Hope. Here comes Bender into the forecourt. Ball loose on the deck, picked up, not put in. That's off the mark by Wilson with 15 seconds remaining. The ball will be brought into the forecourt by Bird. Getting some valuable experience here late. Over and back the call as he lost the handle. 7 seconds remain now. And I think it's safe to say St. James will advance. Congratulations to them, but no knock against Hope Middle School out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm sure they'll be back here time after time after time. A great squad we've seen this year. It's going to be a foul called. This is going to go against Bird with 2 seconds remaining. The blocking foul. It'll be Hope ball underneath. Again, St. James now will advance to play at 3:40 p.m. in the White Gym, which is a little more on schedule, I believe, or perhaps even further behind than we are here in Red Gym. I can't quite tell as of yet. If you are now awaiting what was supposed to be a 12:10 start, we'll get you to your game in probably just about 10 minutes, as they do put a running clock on the board after this game's conclusion. The rebound comes away to Bird. He'll hold the ball, and this game is over. Your final score, St. James 42, Hope 28. St. James advances on.